Hi, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Gina Jean-Pierre. I'm the Senior Marcom Specialist at Yamaha Corporation of America. Thank you for joining us this afternoon or morning from wherever you're joining for today's webinar featuring Yamaha, ScreenBeam, and Lumens. Today, we have a very special presentation for you. We will review our proven, easily integrated, and very scalable solution involving only Ethernet category cabling and USB connections for the entire integration. Each vendor will have a chance to present and let us know of any individual updates on their side. And then Tim Mackey from Yamaha will take over from his impressive motorcycle garage with a live demo so you can see the solution in action. This webinar will be recorded and we will have an opportunity for Q&A after all three companies present. So to give a little background, the idea for this joint solution actually came from one of our AV integration partners. One day when Tim Mackey and Greg Carswell were on the road, it was their customer who pointed out how ScreenBeam's wireless screen sharing, Lumens PTZ cameras work so well together with Yamaha's Odessia solution to form a complete package for the end user. After that, the three companies tested the approach, presented it at this integrator's combined customer event, and the solution was a hit with the attendees. So we first presented this solution in a webinar to the world back in April 2024, but since then we've continued to receive positive feedback in the field from our customers, telling us that this is exactly what they've been looking for, as something that is easy to install and support for any size integration, from one classroom or conference room to many. So let's review the joint solution and explore how they all individually come together for a great customer solution for any type of conference room, meeting room, or classroom. Tim, you can go to the next. Thank you. So here's a diagram that showcases the three solutions working together for a larger room requiring multiple ceiling microphones and cameras, along with the ScreenBeam display sharing. You can see the purple shaded is the Yamaha products, the blue is Lumens, and then the gray is from ScreenBeam. So you will see a version of this integration live today during Tim's demonstration. Next, we'll start off with Andrew Mulazzi from Lumens, Carlin Fernandez from ScreenBeam, and finally Timothy Mackey from Yamaha. Once again, this webinar will be recorded, and please feel free to use the Q&A function throughout the presentation to ask any questions. With that, I will pass it off to Andrew.
Thanks, Gina, and welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us today. My name, Andrew Malazzi. I am a zone manager, that's code for sales manager here at Lumens. My contact information there on the screen, and of course a barcode if you want to learn more about Lumens ProAV solutions. Tim, next.
Sorry, Andrew, hang on.
That's okay. As you may. Okay, so before we get into the solution, let me just tell you a little bit why Lumens, why work with Lumens, if you can, Tim. If you don't know much about Lumens, let me talk first about our parent company. Lumens is a subsidiary of a company known as Pegatron, which is a Taiwanese EMS, electronic manufacturing service provider, that has had a hand in manufacturing something that is probably on your desk, in your pocket, or maybe in your driveway right now. Next. Lumens is, again, a subsidiary of Pegatron. We have been in business for 25 years with our core technologies being centered around our optical strength. Lumens is a powerhouse, leading manufacturer of PTZ camera solutions in the market. As a matter of fact, we manufacture about 1 in every 5 PTZ cameras on the planet. And our optical strength, our prowess and AV over IP and digital imaging process is the core technology that Lumens focus on. Next, please. And then moving into the future, we're going to continue to pioneer in the AV over IP world with a particular emphasis in AI video production. So that's using AI to automate and make integrating, installing, using video production easier and more solution focused, not just giving you the pieces and putting them on the table, but designing our solutions so they work together to provide a solution that is useful for you and one that works in your ecosystem by working with various manufacturers out there like Yamaha and ScreenBeam, again, to deliver end-to-end solutions. Next, please. Lumens, again, Taiwanese-based company, means I'd say 98% of our products TAA and NDAA compliant, and we back all of our products with a 5-year warranty. Next, please. Another reason for why Lumens, we're very aggressive. We want to work with you, and we want you to see our solutions, touch them. We'd like to emphasize our product evaluation program. We are more than happy, whether you're a reseller or an end user, to send you demo products so you can test it in your environment. We will offer engineering workflow assistance, so we make sure that it works within your environment. So we'll get an engineer on the line to help you. And the best part of this, no cost. We cover shipping in both directions. Next, please. There's our friendly sales team that you might want to work with, and you can see how we're broken up across the country. I'd like to point out Rick at the bottom of this map that we have on the screen here is on the call with us today and in the chat room. Rick is a product engineer, and he really makes us sales guys look like heroes. He does all the heavy lifting for us. Next, please. Okay, so here's Lumen's product line. You can see it's diverse. We're focused, again, on end-to-end solutions, whether they're cameras, and we do have a large variety of them, controllers, and then methods for recording, streaming, and transferring your data that you capture with our cameras. Next, please. Again, more solutions information in 2025. We're actually, I think, at ISE this week, if it's not going on already. We're introducing a lot of different solutions out there. Again, not just product, but things that are focused, speaker tracking, bring your own meeting, lecture capture, intelligent director for making automated production. Again, more focus on automated through AI, and then some stuff for ease of installation. And then, as you can see in the bottom right-hand side, we're increasing our Dante support moving forward as well. Next, please. Okay, but the solution we're going to really focus on today is our Cam Connect Pro, which is an award-winning product that we released, I guess, in 2023, but the emphasis and the focus of this product really was in 2024. Works with all Lumens products, and the idea of the product is to bring a new generation of automation into your meeting. It combines multiple cameras, uses AI, and is very scalable. Tim, if you can go to the next one, please. So there's another version of the diagram that we had before. The Cam Connect processor sits at the heart of this system. It's a box probably about the size of if you stacked about 2 or 3 iPhones together, or maybe a large Altoids can. And it sits in the heart of this system, connected by LAN, gathers data from microphones that are either in the ceiling or on the table, etc., or at the podium, and then can work with anywhere from 1 to 4 cameras to transfer data from the microphones to the cameras. The microphones will pinpoint where the audio is coming from, and then tell our cameras where to point, where to shoot, when to zoom, when to switch, etc. All of that is routed externally via USB to either your monitor, or in this case today, we're talking about getting it out to the ScreenBeam system, which will then bring it out to your local display. Some built-in features that are unique to our Lumens Cam Connect system, utilizing, again, the audio from the microphones, but we're also using some AI algorithms to do people tracking. If someone is speaking, in the meeting and decides to get up and go to the whiteboard or the monitor, the camera will use, or the system will use its AI capability to follow that person. Or maybe on the right-hand side is my favorite feature. If you're like me in a meeting, at 9 a.m., I might be sitting in one spot, but I'm kind of fidgety. I might move left, I might move right. When I speak again, the camera system will then look, and if I have moved left or right, it's going to put me right back in the middle of the shot. Next, please. So let's talk about where this may be applicable. And if you think about it, just about anywhere, any kind of meeting space, boardroom, training locations, classrooms, anywhere that you might have a meeting, Cam Connect system will fit into that application. Next, please. So here's one example. We're showing here a boardroom style using a ceiling microphone and some speakers. So when you look in this example, you see a couple cameras up front. They're gathering data from the microphone, routing it out to your MTR, your meeting platform, Teams, Zoom, Google Meet, whatever it might be, as well as a local display at the same time. Next, please. And it's not just ceiling mics. It could be tabletop, podium style, etc. Next, please. So one of the things I'd like to point out, Gina pointed out that we did this about a year ago, and we continue to try to innovate and frequently update our system. If you are already a Cam Connect user, or perhaps have looked at this in the past, we continue to expand the feature set, the number of devices that we support, whether that be from a mic standpoint or a DSP or a control system out there, and other platforms such as Dante AV. We continue to add these moving forward. Next, please. So in a nutshell, that is the Cam Connect Pro system. Again, designed to automate and enhance your meetings. It is scalable, and we are happy to support it here at Lumens. I think that Carlin will be next, and then Tim will follow with a demo of the system.
Awesome. Thanks for passing it over, Andrew. Hi, everybody. My name is Carlin Fernandez. For those of you that don't know me, I am the ScreenBeam West Coast Sales Manager. So any questions, regardless of where you're located, feel free to reach out to me. And if it's not me, I will get you to the right person. Next slide, please. So today we're here to talk about, on the ScreenBeam side, two main solutions. And then, of course, for our K-12 education customers, I didn't want to leave you out. So I do have our EDU product on here as well, but starting with the 1100 plus, and if you could go back for me, thank you, no problem. The 1100 plus, that's the device that we're talking about today, and that's what plays nicely with Yamaha. It plays nicely with Lumens as well. And really what I want everyone to see with ScreenBeam, we really started pre-COVID, of course, in an era where a lot of collaboration was done primarily in that meeting room. Now COVID happened, and we've seen this shift that not only are we collaborating in person, but there is a need to bring in those remote participants. Not everybody can be in the same room at the same time. And so as a result of that, we've come out with our 1100 plus and USB Pro Switch combination that will essentially enable you to not only wirelessly share content to the front of the room, but you're also able to wirelessly connect to our friends like Lumens and Yamaha and their solutions, so that when you take the meeting online, whether it be for Teams, WebEx, Zoom, Pexip, it doesn't matter what your meeting platform of choice is, you can now wirelessly connect to those peripherals as well. Next slide, please. So again, referencing back to that COVID scenario where we really kind of pivoted our technology and now brought the meeting room online, we saw a lot of entities that invested in a dedicated room solution, be it a Teams room or a Zoom room or a Google Meets room. But the problem with that, from where we were sitting and what we were hearing, is that it was great for internal meetings, but if a guest came in, or maybe you had a meeting with an outside vendor, their meeting platform could be different. And now all of a sudden we have this beautiful dedicated room that we can't use because it's unique to that meeting platform. So what ScreenBeam does in our USB Pro Switch specifically is basically adding another input to that dedicated room to say, hey, if you have a Teams room in this, if you have a Teams meeting in this Teams room, leverage the Teams room, right? But if you have a Google Meets meeting and you still want to leverage the camera, mic, and speaker and be able to run your Google Meets meeting, that is exactly what that USB Pro Switch is enabling. The magic about it is that it is done automatically based on the signals that it receives from the 1100 plus. So there's no manual change on the end user. It's all done automatically. And you're basically giving your end users the luxury of having the ability to choose between that dedicated room solution or any other solution. Here at ScreenBeam BYOD, we call that bring your own device, right? We've also coined the term BYOM, bring your own meeting as well. So just like we're agnostic on the operating system side, we're agnostic on the virtual meeting platform side as well. Next slide, please. So our 1100 plus, to kind of pull back a little bit and just give everybody an overview of what ScreenBeam does. Again, we're a piece of hardware that you see there on the right-hand side that connects up to your display via HDMI. And what we're enabling is for anybody to walk in that room with their device, whether it be an iPhone, it could be an iPad, it could be a Windows laptop, a Chromebook, a Pixel phone. We have the ability, we are giving those users the ability to share content to that front of room display using the ScreenBeam. That's what ScreenBeam does. And it's all done wirelessly. From that end user device, it thinks that it's being connected via an HDMI cable. But again, using our solution, it is all wireless. We also have a multi-network infrastructure. So that way in boardrooms or depending, various environments, right? Sometimes there are cases where there's an internal, more private network, and then there's a guest network. That's where the 1100 plus really hones in. One of the key features is multi-network support. So this device can actually sit on two networks at the same time. And that way, if you have guests that are coming in and they would like to share content, they can do so. And if you have internal users that want to collaborate and share content as well, they can do so. Next slide, please. Then we've got our USB Pro Switch, which I touched on earlier. Again, for lack of a better term, the easiest way or concept to think about our USB Pro Switch is that it's actually taking that dedicated room solution and jailbreaking it, right? So we're opening up the platform so that no matter what your meeting platform of choice is, you can connect to those peripherals, share content, host video and audio, have a speaker, and carry on as you normally would. So that is what our USB Pro Switch does. Next slide, please. And then for everybody on this call, whether you're an end user or you're a reseller, majority of these bullet points apply to you. Demo units are available to both. So if at any point somebody's interested to evaluate ScreenBeam or wants to see what the experience is like, you can let us know. We can get you a loaner unit. We also, for the resellers on this call, any projects that are identified ahead of time, we can offer a special deal registration discount. So feel free to reach out to us for that. And then along the lines of what my friend Andrew was saying, we offer white glove service as well. So coming back to those loaner units, if you need an engineer to hop on a call, walk through any questions, give you advice, best practices, show you tricks. That's what I'm here for. That's what the rest of my team is here for. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. And then lastly, of course, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for our colleagues. If you could just go back. Sorry, Tim.
Sorry.
That's okay. It's just our bundles. So we actually do have a bundle with Yamaha, with Lumens, with the ScreenBeam 1100 plus. So if you like the full solution that you're seeing today, reach out to one of us. And again, we have a bundle that all these products come together in one. You can save some money and get a reliable solution at the same time. Next slide. Going back to the multi-network deployment, I apologize, this is a little out of order, but this is a visual again on how the different audiences are going to connect in ScreenBeam. This shows our multi-network support ability. And so what you see here is you've got your corporate network, VLAN 1, we're hardwired that to that via Ethernet cable, right? That is how we're established on that network. So now whether you're an Apple user, a Chrome user, Windows over infrastructure, that mutual network connection is required as a basis to be able to share content. And so because that ScreenBeam is hardwired to that VLAN 1, that corporate network, now any of those users that are on that network will be able to identify this ScreenBeam and share content no problem. Key thing to know about that, no downloads, no apps, no dongles. There's nothing else that you need to add to the device to make it do this functionality. It is all out of the box. Then when it comes to our guest side, right, and we're talking about our VLAN 2, that is where the device, we have it in this example, connected via wireless. So it is connected wirelessly to that guest VLAN. And now any guest that walks into the room that's connected to that network can also see the ScreenBeam device and be able to share content. And what's crucial about this is in highly secure environments, right? Those two networks are completely segregated. So there's no communication between those two. It's completely secure. If you're on the guest side, you're on the guest side. If you're on the corporate side, you're on the corporate side. And then just to add an even more additional kind of feature to the networking side, this device also broadcasts its own SSID, which that's another kind of handy feature that we offer. So another use case, you can wirelessly connect to the local AP of the ScreenBeam. That is your mutual meeting point, and now you're able to see the ScreenBeam device and cast. And again, that's done with no apps, no dongles. There's nothing that you need to do to the device to make it work, so long as it supports those native protocols by OS. So in Windows, Miracast, Apple, AirPlay, Chrome, Chromecast. That's it for me, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you so much, Carlin, which brings us to me. And again, Andrew, Carlin, thank you so much for your time today. I'm probably not going to be able to do the live demo here as much as I've been showing it off all week and a half. I am literally today having computer crashing issues with this Zoom platform. I'm not even able to turn on my camera at the moment. So with that, I'm at least going to go through the rest of the presentation, and then I'll give it a whirl at the end, see if I can kind of bash on some buttons and get my camera to come back on. But anyway, to round out the rest of this solution, and yeah, it really is a fantastic solution. We put this together a number of years ago, like Gina said at the beginning. After traveling with one of our integrators, we would show off the Yamaha system, and then he would hook up the Lumens camera and the ScreenBeam. And it was just powerful and amazing how quickly we could put the solution together. But now let's talk about the audio portion. Highly important. You've got to have crystal clear, world-class audio. And the Yamaha Dacia solution really has changed the game with how we do it. We use distributed architecture, which means every piece plugs into its own port on a PoE plus switch. And with a few mouse clicks, the intelligent automation sets this up, just kind of like our home theater systems as well. We play tone sweeps and pink noise throughout the system. And within a few mouse clicks, after you've mounted everything, you have world-class audio. And we do this by leveraging Dante technology. We are one of the largest initial investors. Yamaha makes more Dante-enabled products than anyone else on the market, from our mixers on through to our unified communications devices. And again, when you buy a Yamaha 7.1 surround sound system for your home, same technology. You can put a microphone that comes in the box where you sit, and it plays tone sweeps and pink noise and tunes for the acoustics of that environment on that position. So it really is a revolutionary system in that it only takes a few mouse clicks to set up. Now, here it is. Here's the main piece, the controller, what we call the RMCR. We have the RMCG ceiling grid mics, the RMTT tabletop mics, and the RMW wireless mics. You can mix and match up to 16 microphones. This has a 16-channel card. It will support 16 of our digital mics. That's most rooms, folks. That's 90% of the rooms we spec systems into out there on the market. You could, for example, do 4 of these ceiling mics, 4 table mics, and an 8-channel wireless system. And you can bring in any 2 analog mics of your choosing, to have a total of 18 mics in that room. Again, highly scalable, most rooms. The analog mics actually will run to the in-room speakers. Think a couple of presenter mics, maybe a wireless belt pack mic or two, and they get mixed onto your Teams and Zoom calls with your digital mics. I'm sitting right now underneath my ceiling mic. I'm talking to you on one of these because we were going to use that to do the tracking with the cameras. And the way it works is this: we generate multiple beams, and they're dynamic beams. So it doesn't matter how you have your seating arrangements. If you move your tables around, it's not a problem. You're not moving out of a preset pickup area. In a typical 8 to 10 foot installation, we'll cover about a 26 foot by 26 foot room size area, and multiple people can participate. This is designed specifically for meetings, training rooms, conference rooms. So the dynamic beam will track you as you move around the room, and we send that information to the camera systems, to the Lumen camera systems as well. Lumens is unique in that they've also written code to do voice tracking with our table mics, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Andrew, but also our wireless mics as well. So they're kind of leading the way with what they do with Yamaha technology with the tracking. And again, with the wireless mics as well, we have 6-inch, 12-inch gooseneck and an omni and a directional. And again, this is the only wireless microphone system on the market certified for use on Microsoft with Teams. So again, state of the art. This came out about 2 years ago. You can actually do 16 of these microphones with the Audiovisual solution. All of it powered by the Yamaha switch. We are actually the Cisco of routing and switching sort of in Japan. We dominate that sector. Yamaha makes all of our own. We make our own routers, switches, firewalls. We are the largest Ethernet infrastructure provider for SMBs in Japan. Really blew my mind when I went to Japan and found that out, being an old CCNA myself. So here's our main switch. This has 8 PoE plus ports. I'm running right now 4 of our 30 watt per channel line array speakers in here. I have my ceiling mic plugged in. I can do a couple of table mics, and I can put an 8-channel wireless all on those 8 ports. And I have 2 non-powered combo ports to link to other switches. Take advantage of this being a true Ethernet-based solution. You can have maybe 4 of our table mics on a table with a 5-port switch under that table, and simply run 1 wire back to the main rack, back to the main switch. And then here is the secret sauce in this whole solution. This is what replaces the traditional DSP. This is the RMCR processor. We have 4 interfaces in here, Bluetooth being one of them. There's the pairing button. I could walk into this room, pair my phone, use my phone to do a Teams or Zoom call, and leverage the high-end world-class Yamaha system within that room. And there it is, where I can simply plug in any 2 dynamic mics of my choosing. And again, the line array speakers that come with this solution are game-changing. Yamaha has really led the way in training rooms, conference rooms, by introducing our professional line array speakers into classrooms, training rooms, huddle rooms, even as small as that. 2 things make these things really applicable for these kinds of rooms. One is the directionality. They're 170-degree horizontal pattern, only 25 vertical. So they're not reflecting on the floor and ceiling at all. They're putting a beautiful horizontal band of audio in the room. And the second is the super even sound pressure. These things are only 9 decibels down 40 feet away. In this room I'm in now, I'm sitting like I'm in this chair. I'm 3 feet from my speaker, and I'm not going deaf. Yet I can walk 30 feet away here in my shop and still hear everybody perfectly without touching the volume knob on my laptop. Up to about a 20 by 30, 20 by 40 room, 25 by 50 room, 1 pair of these is really all you need. They're fully ADA compliant with the bracket that comes in the box, and they are fully paintable. Have fun with your colors in your rooms. Also, with the Audiovisual, we can do things like advanced features very simply and easily with our combine and divide room capability. The complete Audiovisual solution is fully Teams and Zoom certified. Here you have the 2 basics you would need for Teams or a Zoom room. You've got a pair of speakers, 1 ceiling mic, a computer to host your Teams or Zoom call, and our controller. Once you set that up, within about a minute after powering the system up with the level of automation we have with the auto tuning, you're done with that room. Then you go into room B if you have a combine and divide scenario, rinse and repeat, do the same thing, and now you're done with both rooms. Well, with our built-in presets, now you can call that preset 1, divided room. Then you open the air door, log into the main box in room 1, grab all the components, because you can have up to 16 mics and unlimited speakers. retune the room for the bigger environment, and now you've got preset number 2, where you've changed all of the Dante routes, all of the tuning of each individual component, and have a much bigger equipment set. And we can control all of this from our $675 MCP1 wall controller. I did a webinar recently where we set this up live on the webinar. And I know we're being cavalier trying to do these live webinars. And again, I do apologize if we're not going to be able to actually show this today. We're going to circle back with fixing this problem in my laptop. By the way, we also have free Provisionaire touch, Provisionaire control, which allows you to customize your GUI, bring in your corporate colors, and really design it like a pro mixer or very simple classroom, however you want, onto an Apple iPad or any PC to control that entire room as well. So bringing it back to the audio portion, irrespective of using the ScreenBeam and the number of Lumens cameras you want to use in this solution, the audio portion is completely scalable as we described. So that brings it back to the combined package. And again, Yamaha, Lumens, and ScreenBeam have gotten together and really certified and vetted this solution out. And this is indicative of where we are today. Take a look at this. This is virtually cabling, plug it up with Cat 5e cable, a few USB cables, and you're done. Gone are the days of analog wires and strippers and different technologies, DSPs with pins and programming. The level of automation in these systems, it was a breeze and a lot of fun setting up the camera tracking. So with that, I'm going to stop sharing this PowerPoint and see if it's going to play well, and let me turn my camera on. No. Can y'all, did I stop sharing, everybody?
Yeah,
Gina?
you stopped sharing. We can also look
I
let
have
we
no control over this at all, unfortunately.
That's okay, Tim. Let's look at some of the questions that have come in throughout the presentation.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely.
we had in the chat, there was a question earlier on, and some of them have been answered, but I'll just repeat them so that for everyone listening. So the Cam Connect, about it could be a part of a BYOD solution. The Cam Connect Pro can output USB webcam and or a single HDMI output. So there's a single HDMI output and a single USB-C output. We've got some great compliments about the ScreenBeam solution and Lumens and Odessia. Some great history with the products. The question in the Q&A, Tim, can the Cam Connect work with Odessia wireless gooseneck microphones? You had said you wanted
Yes,
to
it
address
can.
that.
And again, Andrew might want to dive in on that one as well. Like I said, I was amazed at how quickly Lumens not only wrote the code to do what we do with the ceiling mic, but also the table mics. And Rick, if you want to jump in and answer here, Rick's been telling me how great they've been doing with our wireless mics as well.
Yeah, I have to say that working with the RMW mics are very cool, very easy to configure. The only gotcha that you have to be aware of is that when you have your wireless mic, the Cam Connect is basing on the active mic. So the only gotcha is that you have to place the mic back in that position where you want the camera to point. So one thing that Tim mentioned about a divisible room or an all-hands room is that with the wireless mic solution, you can have it set up in a conference room environment. You can have it set up in a classroom environment, and you could also set it up for like a panel discussion. And while you can have different configurations for the room, you can create different profiles within Cam Connect Pro so that you can easily reconfigure your room and place the mics where you would like them to be and have the cameras pick up those active mics as required. It's a very, very cool solution. And configuring it with the Yamaha mics is as Tim mentioned, it's a breeze.
Thanks, Reg. Question from David. Is there a bundle part number for the USB switch and ScreenBeam together? Based on the installations we've done, I would almost rather have these together on every install. I think you're on mute, Carlin.
Sorry.
Thanks.
I can get a part number, whoever asked that. If you could send me a note, or I'll take note of your contact. If you could share an email address, and I will get you the part numbers.
Great, thank you. Damien, what is the best recommended way to connect a BYOD laptop at a conference table to the Yamaha RMCR located in an AV rack, quite a distance away? So does ScreenBeam
A
alleviate?
ScreenBeam.
Yeah.
I would recommend the ScreenBeam. What I found in this garage here, testing this solution, getting ready for this webinar, is it's just a breeze. There it is in your Wi-Fi connection right next to your existing Wi-Fi. So instead of connecting to my garage Wi-Fi, I simply connect to the ScreenBeam 1100. As a first-time user, it has been as simple as that. And then it says, hey, do you want to present or present and conference? You've got two basic button choices. And boom, as soon as you do that, you have the choice just like every other platform. Do you want to duplicate or extend your displays? It is so intuitive, so slick, and so simple. And I can walk anywhere in this shop, even actually go out in the yard, host this call completely wirelessly to the ScreenBeam.
Thanks, Tim. Do all three companies offer a bundle between the three or just ScreenBeam? Yep. So all three work connected together, and we do have some common ways to purchase so that you can get them all at the same time. This webinar is being recorded. We can send a copy out. And then does the camera tracking work similar to another manufacturer where it's using the audio of specific locations to recall camera presets? Or is it more where it's using the live audio to figure out in real time where people are located?
So that's a great question. And again, please circle back to this channel because we're going to show this. It's pretty cool. When I'm continually talking like I'm presenting, the beam is tracking me, and our microphone is telling the cameras where the Cartesian coordinates of that beam are in rapid, very fast, real time. So as I walk around the room, it just tracks me as I go from one side of my shop to the other. Now, if I stop talking and walk to the other side of my shop, it's not going to track me because there's no audio information change being sent to the camera. And I was actually doing that as part of the demo. And then I'd start to speak like I'm a brand new participant in another area in the room joining the conversation, and the camera would immediately track over to me. So we have multiple beams for multiple participants, and whichever beam is active, whichever person is talking, that's where the camera is going to go. And by the way, you could even assign different cameras to the same microphone. You could have one camera for the stage microphone area and one camera for the back of room microphone. You can assign multiple cameras through Cam Connect Pro to the same microphone and have them do different behaviors. It's really that granular.
And he's not lying. We just saw it earlier today, so I can attest. I've seen it a couple times this week. But that's just the way it goes sometimes. So, any plan to bring out Odessia ceiling speakers, Tim?
Yes, absolutely. And this is a really huge announcement for us. When you looked at what we were explaining with the combine and divide, the way we can do those changes on the fly is because the speakers are all Dante. So we're only limited to the line arrays right now. If you have analog speakers, we have to use a different method to do those combine and divide rooms. But yes, we are releasing our CAN ceiling speaker, I think around April, Gina, which is going to be part of the Odessia family. So not only are we going to have the Dante line arrays that you can have in these room solutions, but we're going to have CAN speakers that can drop into your existing 6-inch CAN hole as well. So that'll be super exciting.
So we have a captive audience. Is there any connection and deconnection you can try while we're on here, or do you think it's just your laptop that needs to be is getting?
If you folks want to wait a minute, I'm happy to reboot this laptop and join this meeting again and see if I can show this to you guys. Happy to do it.
I also, for the ScreenBeam viewers, I can do a little demonstration on how to connect to ScreenBeam. Does that work for everyone?
Yeah. Anyone have any jokes they want to share? Just kidding. Go ahead.
That was awesome. Okay, so this is, everyone can see my screen, okay?
I have been working on my Tide 5.
Can you guys see that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. So I have a touchscreen monitor here on my desk that our ScreenBeam, actually the EDU model, is connected to it. But nonetheless, we can still, this is our how to connect screen, fully customizable, right? So you can change the name. My last name is Fernandez. That's why I have Fernandez. And then our how to connect instructions. You'll notice that here we have it by operating system. So you see Windows, you see iOS, and then you see Chrome. And then, as everybody has kind of mentioned already, you'll see how easy it is to connect. Here's my iPhone here. If I just go to my AirPlay menu, because again, I have my ScreenBeam wirelessly connected to my home network, and we can actually get confirmation of that on this splash screen down here, where it says wireless connected and it has an IP address. On the Ethernet, I don't have it hardwired at the moment, but if I did, you would see the same thing as well with a different IP address. And so again, because it is on our wireless network here at my house, my iPhone here is on that same network. If I go to my AirPlay menu, you'll see, oh shoot, my background's blocking it. My option is Fernandez Classroom 2A as an option to connect to. So I can select that. It's going to prompt me with the 4-digit PIN code that you guys are then seeing there. So I'll enter that, and we do that for security reasons. You can turn that off. If I select OK, within a matter of seconds, you guys can see my iPhone, and it's that easy. And if you want, I took my dog to the beach recently. So here's some beach dog photos.
Love it.
But that's how easy it is, guys. So again, there's no app on my iPhone to be able to do this. I'm on the network, so I got to bypass a step. And it's that easy. And then once I'm finished, I just press stop mirroring. And now I'm disconnected to the display. And the next person can hop on. So that's how easy it is with ScreenBeam.
Thank you, Carlin.
Thanks for listening.
Yes. We did have another question come in about the ceiling speakers be able to be daisy chained via network connection or each speaker on individual run. I do know that they will be Dante enabled, so they will be able to run on the network. And let's see, any other questions? We'll give Tim another couple of minutes. I know that this is just the reality of live television.
Should I pull up the
But
dog pics again? Or
it does work, and it is really cool because you can see his entire motorcycle garage from one end
it
to the
is.
other.
We've seen it quite a bit this week, so
Yeah.
we know it works.
Would anybody like to see the
Shout out to
interface?
Jesse. I appreciate that comment. That's very true.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Rick. Sorry.
If you would like, if anyone is interested, I would be happy to show the interface of Cam Connect Pro and of our newly released version.
That sounds great, Rick.
We
Thank
do
you.
have some options that I'd like to share with you all.
Look at that. Yes, please. Let's do it.
Okay, give me just a moment here. And share.
To answer Ryan's question, how many wireless devices can be displayed at once? It's up to 4, and that can be a mixed operating system. So you can have, a Windows user, 3 Apple users, and it'll scale out just based on how many connections it receives, but it's up to 4.
So what you're all viewing right now is the main interface of Cam Connect Pro. And I've currently selected, although I do not have an RMCG on hand in my facility. Oh, there's Tim. And I'm going to stop sharing because we can see Tim now. But I'd be happy to get back to it.
Can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, we can see you.
All right, cool beans. Let me make sure I have everything selected right. Let me change cameras. Hang on.
One more question. Will the ScreenBeam
There we go.
USB? Okay, you ready, Tim?
So if you guys want to go ahead.
It will work as a wired input as well, Damien. Yes.
Can
Okay,
you guys
great.
see me okay over here?
Yeah, I'm gonna spotlight you for everyone. There we go.
Thank you very much. Let me close my Outlook because I keep getting emails blasting me here. All right, everybody get a good look at my bald head. All right, can everybody see me okay?
Yes, we can see you.
Cool
So-
beans. So now I'm on the Lumens camera and I'm using the ceiling mic that's above my head. And as I start to walk around this shop, if I come over here, I want to talk about this project over here. It's going to track me. If I want to come over here and go a little further, it's going to continue to track me. In fact, I have another Yamaha motorcycle over here I can show you guys right here. And as I continue on around to show you this last engine project, you'll see that as I've walked around here talking, the audio information location has been sent to the camera. Now, check it out. I'm going to stop talking and sneak over there and pretend I'm a new person starting up another conversation. So now here I am over here. Hey, I'm right over here next to the Van Halen bike. And as you can see, as a new participant, the beam information was sent over to the camera. I think there's one more area it'll track me to over here. And again, as I want to come over here as a presenter and talk about this bike. This one I actually raced in CMRA 2 years ago, won a couple races with this guy until I got hurt. And again, as I move around this shop, it will track me and keep me in frame. So that's a quick demo. Thanks, guys, for your patience. I apologize about the technical difficulties we had, but as I come back to sit back down, it should also track me over to here. So as I sit back down here, there we go. If I move to my right a little bit, it'll keep me right in center. So that's a look at the tracking. So I go back to my onboard laptop camera from the Lumens.
If there was just one more comment that I could add to that, Tim, while in your shop, you currently have one camera and it picked up and it tracked you as you walked around in your shop. I do want to add that you can have up to 4 cameras connected to the Cam Connect Pro, and it could actually switch between cameras depending on your room configuration. And that's one of the cool things that I feel the combination between Yamaha and the Cam Connect Pro is that depending on your configuration, you can customize it easily, very easily, simply by setting up a preset and assigning it to a particular azimuth angle or a microphone location.
Yeah, if I could add to that, each camera is also capable of multiple shots. So depending upon how intricate you really want to get, you can be switching and have multiple shots from the same camera or single shots switching between cameras.
And you'll notice, and that was Tim's Cam Connect Pro interface. Tim, if I could ask you to jump back to the Cam Connect Pro interface. One of the new features of our newly released is that we have a primary camera and a secondary camera. So if in this case, if a particular azimuth angle is hot or in use, and the primary camera is focused on the subject, and a second shot utilizes that same camera, it will pick up a secondary camera. Again, you could have up to 4 cameras connected to the Cam Connect Pro and assigned to all the azimuth angles within your Yamaha RMCG microphone or Yamaha RMW microphones.
And I'd like to point out that I divided my microphone into 16 pizza pie segments, right? It's a round microphone. You walk 360 degrees around it. So think of this as cutting it up into pizza pie wedges. And you can see the green light highlighting where I am right now. As I move to my left over here, you'll see I'm in a different sector of the microphone. And then as I move back here, you'll see I move back to this sector. And all you do is really associate your presets, which you create over here. So here, if I go back, I'll show you, I actually created preset 7 where I could zoom in on myself for when I'm sitting here in a meeting. But what I did was simply build preset 1. and I'll stop talking because it'll track me. And I built 6 presets. And I had to stop talking because now it's going to track to me. But once I built those presets, I simply came in here, and whatever pizza pie I lit up, I associated it with that preset. It was really that simple to do. So I'm glad we got to reboot my laptop. And I apologize. I was told by HR a couple of weeks ago to reboot my laptop often because I don't think I have a lot of RAM for what I do with this thing sometimes. But yeah, it's been really easy to set up. And again, I could turn the voice tracking on and off with a toggle. And just to give you guys one more demo of it, let me go back over to the Lumens camera. And here's the fun part. Again, I'll start over here at this wall. Test 1, 2. If I want to talk about this over here, I'm just going to come over here and talk about this and stand here. And as long as I'm standing here, it's going to keep right on me because it's got this particular location associated with it. If I step a little bit to this side and I get into that next piece of slice, it's going to move to that other preset that I determined right over here. Now, I could have made my presets a lot finer. And what I haven't showed you is the tracking speed as well. Right now, I'm at about 25 degrees per millisecond. I could have it track faster or slower. So that's kind of really user preference on how fast you want it to track. And Andrew, one of the other modes I played with, I forget the name of it, but instead of panning over, it will jump to that location. So if I had a 20-foot long boardroom table and I've got 2 people having a dynamic conversation, it's just going to cut between one and the other instead of wasting time panning. So whether you have a static room layout with everyone like a dais or a town hall, courtroom, where people aren't moving, that might be a better way to go. But in here, if I'm doing a dynamic presentation and I'm actively walking around, I'm going to want that live tracking as I do that as I walk around in here. So that's pretty cool, pretty straightforward, pretty simple. And we got to do our live demonstration of this from right here.
Amazing. Thank you,
Sit down.
Tim.
Thank you guys very, very much.
Couple more quick questions. Are there fencing or zones that can be set up for presenters, like a stage area?
Yes, absolutely. You can also have a dedicated go back to position once everybody stops talking.
Yep. And then with the secondary camera, will it recognize when someone has stopped talking and you can, let's say, default to a wide shot of the whole room until someone new speaks? Rick, you want to answer that?
Yes, there is a return to home position, and you can set a duration of how long you want to wait before it goes to a home position. And you could specify a custom preset for that wide shot. There was one other question that I would like to answer. The question is, does the camera work similarly to a One Beyond, where it's using the audio of specific locations to recall camera presets, or is it more like other camera tracking where it's using live audio to figure it out in real time? It is recalling the audio data to recall a camera preset. So an azimuth angle needs to be hot, or a specific microphone needs to be hot, and that will trigger the camera and camera preset. The one thing that I do want to mention is that the Cam Connect Pro is not overly engineered, and that's what I think is one of the major advantages of it, is because if you can utilize our web interface to select a camera preset, you can create a new room profile to utilize the room, and you're not locked down into what was originally configured for that room. And you don't need a specific technician to come out and redesign and reconfigure your room to recall a specific camera preset. So I hope I answered that specific question.
And I would throw on top as well that you can get creative. All I showed in my presets was a pan. You can also have it when I'm over at that particular lectern, zoom in as well as track over there. So you can really customize what you're doing with it.
Yeah, thank you for adding that.
Yes.
One question from Dennis about your environment. Tim, looks like it has a lot of hard surfaces, but the audio quality is very good. Is it a much more lively space in person?
It's not a bad space right now. My 5-ton air handler is turned off, but if you haven't seen our demos from in here and just how powerful this microphone is, let me go back to the camera tracking and show you. So I'm going to go ahead and walk all the way outside this building. I have my back to the microphone right now. This refrigerator is 17 feet away from that microphone. It did snow here in Austin, Texas, so we got a bit of snow on the ground right now. But I'm going to step outside. I'm going to go ahead and it's windy, a little bit of wind. It's pretty cold. I'm 20 feet away from this microphone outside the building, and I'm whispering from out here. It is an extremely powerful microphone technology. So one of the things we tell people is be careful what you say. It's going to put a beam on you. It's going to hear you. We have automatic gain control where we can compensate for people who whisper and talk softly at the end of the table. And again, it's a very, very powerful technology specifically for these conferencing applications.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, that never gets old. So what if you were having a lunch meeting and the presenter is talking at a distance, further away than the person eating potato chips? Can you set how long audio pickup is sustained before a camera preset is triggered? Does that make sense?
You can put delays in there, but essentially, if I'm the last one talking and I stop talking and no one else does, the camera's just going to sit here unless you do a timeout to a home position.
Yeah. Okay. Is there a way to stabilize the balance to ensure the images are not buffering as you move around?
You can play with, again, if I share my screen, this setting, and this is up here. I'm sharing that. This is the one setting where it would be nice, feature request to Lumens here, it would be nice if right here we had a little bit more granularity between figures right here.
Agreed. That has been noted.
But yeah, I was playing today with 25 degrees per second. You can do 50, and then there's that motionless preset. You would select this if you just wanted to cut from preset to preset without panning. So this is how you do it in a static courtroom type environment. You get very fast action. And this camera can zoom, folks. It can zoom around if you want it to. I found that 25 to 50 was kind of the comfortable place for me.
And just to mention, this also works with ScreenBeam as well. So the wireless connection is all functioning. How well do separate voices, or how well does it separate the voices when you have multiple voices going at one time? If this question is referring to the microphone, we know that it's the 4 dynamic beams all latch onto different voices, right? So you literally hear them all. They like at the same time. We have a video on YouTube that showcases that technology.
A great question. I'd love to round that out too, because 4 beams is more than enough for conferencing. And here's why. We've all been in a meeting or a classroom. When you have 2 people talking at the same time, your intelligibility drops dramatically. When you have 3 people talking over each other, it's gone. By the time you open up a 4th microphone, it's no longer a meeting. It's a family dinner with multiple conversations going on. So this microphone, I would not put over a church choir. These microphones are specifically for these applications, for having dynamic, fast-moving beams that are very focused on the human voices that are participating in these environments. You just can't get a better microphone for training rooms, classrooms, meeting rooms, courtrooms, anywhere where you have a dynamic, speaking, engaged audience environment.
Okay, thank you. When using 16, so the question is when using 16 wired goosenecks mics. So just to clarify, if we're doing Yamahas, our goosenecks are wireless. But if it's a wired, then it's a tabletop, directional or omnidirectional. So when using 16 goosenecks mics in a very large boardroom with 32 seats, so 1 mic for 2 people, can a mic unmute, trigger the camera preset, and mute all other mics so the camera stays locked on that speaker until the next speaker unmutes their mic?
I don't believe currently we can do that, but we could do that introducing our third-party control button per se. We have a product that's about to hit the market that allows you to recall 4 presets. We could then send commands from that very easily. But right now, no. You could, well, you might be able to use a third-party control system and pull the state of the mic mute and then have that trigger an ASCII command. But again, it's kind of not been done yet that I'm aware of.
Okay. Well, this has been an incredible time with everyone. Thank you so much for all of you participants. We had a great amount of people stay on and to get to experience the demo firsthand. Again, we have Tim Mackey from Yamaha, Carlin Fernandez from ScreenBeam, Andrew Malazzi and Rick Puleo from Lumens. We will have this recording available. All of our information was on the presentation, and please reach out to us. Happy to help with any customer questions. And thank you so much for your time. It was a pleasure. And thank you, Lumens and ScreenBeam, for this fun time. We enjoyed it for sure.
Thank you,
Thanks,
everyone.
everybody.
Thank you. Take care, guys.
Thank you, everyone. Everybody have a great day.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.